Hey girl gang, it's Dr. Joy here and you are watching Delivering Joy MD TV. Welcome to Well Woman Wednesday, where we are finishing up our discussion about birth control. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the rhythm method. So make sure you keep watching. All right, girl gang, come on in my office and let's talk about this last form of birth control. This was actually the first form of birth control, the rhythm method. So the rhythm method is actually just really paying close attention to your body, your ovulation cycles, your menstrual cycles, your cervical mucus or the vaginal discharge that you have, and putting all that together to figure out when you're actually fertile. So really what we refer to now as the fertility awareness method, and it can be a way to help prevent pregnancy. So there are three ways to really pay close attention to your fertility. So the first one is the calendar. So you remember back in the day, the old school way, like your grandmama had that little pocket calendar that she kept in her pocketbook, where she used to like kind of write down when her period was. That is how you use that fertility awareness method. You document when your period is, when it starts, when it goes off. And honestly, I think it's actually a good idea because nowadays I have people come in here all the time and I ask, when was the first day of your last menstrual period? And when I tell you how many people don't know this, I mean, it really is ridiculous. And you know what's even more ridiculous is that sometimes I can't remember the first day of my last menstrual period. It's really sad because we don't really keep track of this anymore. So that's something I need to do better. You need to do better too. So start really keeping track of that. There are lots of apps that you can use on your phone, or even just using the regular calendar on your phone. So keeping track of the first day of your last menstrual period, how long your period lasts, when your next period starts, and how many days in between your period. Because in order to use the calendar method of fertility awareness, you got to make sure that your periods are not coming more than 26 to 32 days apart. If your periods are more irregular than that, like say they're coming every 23 days or they're coming every 36 days, then that's not a valid method for you because your periods are too irregular. So you have to have periods that are coming between every 26 days and every 32 days apart in order to use that calendar method. Another fertility awareness method is the cervical mucus check. So when you're ovulating, cervical mucus gets stringy. It's almost like, well, you know, I keep it real with y'all. It looks like snot, okay? So like you can actually get some of the cervical mucus or vaginal discharge and pinch it between your fingers and it looks thin and like kind of like clear mucus that might come out of your nose. So that shows you that the cervical mucus is thinning out, and that's a time during which you are probably ovulating and sperm can sneak through the cervix and up into the uterus and get out to the fallopian tube where the egg might be waiting. So you don't want to have sex when your cervical mucus looks thin and mucousy. And the third way that you can tell that you might be ovulating is your body temperature. So we have this thing called the basal body temperature that we have folks take when they're checking for ovulation. During ovulation, your body temperature usually goes up a little bit, just slightly increase. So usually ovulation temperatures may be somewhere between 97 degrees Fahrenheit and 99 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can take your temperature. That's usually a clue. The other thing that you can do if you're wondering if you're ovulating is get an ovulation kit, right? So we have the benefit of having ovulation kits now. And you know what my biggest hack for these is? Amazon and Dollar Tree, because you can go to Dollar Tree and get like 50 of these for like $50, right? Also on Amazon, you can buy them in bulk and you can use these to test to see if you're ovulating. So these are usually pretty reliable for the most part. I mean, you may get a dud test here and there, but for the most part, you can use these, and these test your luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone spikes when you're ovulating, and you get a positive test when your luteinizing hormone is high, and that luteinizing hormone spike lets you know that you're releasing an egg. So there are some pretty cool ways that you can tell when you're ovulating. There are apps that you can use on your phone, although there are apps that have been shown to be inaccurate. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, the American College of OBGYNs came out with a study that showed that almost 75% of the apps that you can download on your phone for ovulation tracking may be inaccurate. So there was a company called Natural Cycles that came out with an app that is FDA approved for tracking your cycles. Now, of course, you know it would be a paid app, but if you're trying to avoid pregnancy by using an all-natural method, it might be worth a few coins to make sure that you don't wind up pregnant if that's not what you're trying to do. So I actually signed up for Natural Cycles and I paid for it. I think it was maybe like between $60 and $80, and they actually mailed me a temperature probe so I could check my temperature, and it was pretty good. I would say that it was worth the money, and it had the app and you were able to record your temperatures, and you were able to record your periods. And so I would say that it was worth the money. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that, but I just really want to try it out before I recommended it to my girl gang. So I feel like it's definitely worth the money, and I would use it again. So if you're thinking about doing the rhythm method, I would totally recommend it to you because it is a natural form of family planning, but it's also FDA approved, so that you know that the app that you're getting is accurate, and it kind of helps you track things a little bit better. So last week, if you caught this video, you probably heard me joking about the withdrawal method or the pullout game, right? Everybody's been talking about this pullout game being weak since Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion made this WAP video or WAP song. But when we're talking about natural family planning, I always say the pullout game helps you out, because if you got a strong pullout game, you really improve your chances of not getting pregnant. So the effectiveness of natural family planning is about 75 to 85% effective. But if you add that withdrawal, it increases your effectiveness by up to, about 85%. So that means that, up to 25% of folks who are using natural family planning are still going to get pregnant. So, you got to think about that in terms of what your plans are, because you know what I always say, if you're not preventing pregnancy, you're planning for pregnancy. So gotta think about that in terms of your reproductive life plan. So if you absolutely know, like, look, I don't want to get pregnant, I'm not really down for another pregnancy right now, then you may want to consider another form of birth control. And I'm going to link this playlist for you, because now after this video, we have covered every single one that I can think of. Just to be absolutely abundantly clear, if we are using fertility awareness methods or natural family planning, you want to make sure that your periods are regular enough, meaning they're coming at least every 26 to 32 days, and you've identified that. So you've been tracking your periods, and you are not having sex between days 8 and 19, or you're using a backup birth control like condoms or Phexxi, which we've talked about before, or you're using a cervical cup or a diaphragm, some sort of barrier method. So days 8 through 19, you do not want to have vaginal sex. Okay, so that's how you're going to avoid pregnancies. Days 8 through 19, avoid it like the plague. Ain't nothing going down. Okay, that's when you want to chill for a minute. You don't want to be having vaginal sex with male partners on days 8 through 19. Okay. So thank you for being a part of this series on birth control. I hope you learned something. Hope maybe you found something that works for you. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, give your girl a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single Well Woman Wednesday episode. I will catch you next Wednesday, girl gang. Peace.